Hello, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to use the WooCommerce inventory and stock synchronization and WooCommerce product data reconciliation templates. You can find these in the marketplace, or you're welcome to design your own workflows based on them. You typically need both for n8n, but you can definitely modify your setup to rely on just one. The first template performs the retrieval of the inventory table, and the second template facilitates the reconciliation by adding any missing products. To synchronize the inventory, we first require the URL of the page, where the supplier updates the inventory. We bypass the CAPTCHA by adding a simple action when visiting the page. The next step is to extract key data, such as price, name, and quantity. I will now show you the example supplier I used in this template. You will need to modify the workflow to work based on your supplier site. The next template gets the supplier site and the product name. After bypassing the CAPTCHA, we search for the product. Then, we get the data, such as the table of properties for this particular example. We will rebuild the table in HTML code using AI. The Google Sheet used for input is structured as follows. We include both the product category and the inventory. We leverage the product category as a safeguard to prevent the addition of unrelated data. You are now familiar with my n8 templates. You can find anything you need in the notes. We get data from the Google Sheet, and then send it into a loop. Also, we have Slack notes for error and finished alerts. Also, I updated the community node, so you can simply use a single node instead of two nodes, which were previously required for the run workflow and get data operations. This is easier, but for debugging, I recommend using both nodes, as you can get data from the task ID directly. We included the polling time inside this operation. We simply pass the link to the BrowserAct node. We then send the result to a code node. The code node's job is only separating the results. You can use this code node for all your BrowserAct workflows. Then, we included another loop inside this one. We simply loop the BrowserAct data and update or add new products based on it. First, we need to get products from the WooCommerce node. We search for the name. You need to add API credentials for the WooCommerce node. The way to find the API is by going into WooCommerce settings, then advanced, and inside the REST API section, you can add the key. Also, if you encounter a problem, turn on the Include Credentials in Query setting inside the WooCommerce node, credential in n8n. Also, set your WordPress permalink structure to post name. Next, we check for product availability. If there is no product with that name, the array is empty. We then update the price and quantity. This method only works if you don't have duplicated names or don't add just a part of the product name. If you do this, you'll need to add another if node to check for those conditions too. Both WooCommerce errors are handled by Slack. If we don't have the product, we need to add it. The first if node checks the product category. This way, if AI scrapes wrong data, we won't add it. We then use the second BrowserAct template, which we explained at the start of the video. This time, giving it the product name and supplier link. After it gets the data, we create the WooCommerce product. Also, we don't add images for automatically added data to see the difference in the final result. The code node separates the data, and the AI's job is simple. It restructures the table data into HTML code, so we can use it directly inside the page. Now, let's see the results together. This is before we run the workflow. Just look at the data. Also, we have one in the other category. After running the workflow, the results show that the stock is full, and we've successfully added 2 new products, which currently have no images. This is happening because I configured the BrowserAct node to scrape only 5 to 6 items. As you can see, the table of contents is perfect. The AI definitely did a good job. To fully populate your inventory, you should increase this item limit. Once you do, you can also set it up to scrape the product images.